So we have $11,000 desired adjusting balance, but we're currently at a $5,000 debit unadjusted balance. So in order to get this account from a 5,000 debit to an 11,000 credit balance, the first thing we're going to do basically is reverse this debit so that the account's at a $0 balance. And then once we get it zeroed, we'll have to incorporate this $11,000 estimate. So in total, we're going to credit it by 16,000, but really that 16 is, theoretically broken up into two pieces. Getting this taken care of and squared off our underestimate, and then the $11,000 estimate of the $220,000 of receivables that we think might go bad. So this will just, not just for what happened over or underestimate in the prior period, but then also properly assert the amount of these receivables that we believe to be uncollectible. What is the net realizable value after these entries have been made? Remember, the net realizable value, sometimes it'll be called NRV. It's a common piece in accounting. There's NRV of different inventory, receivables, right? So it's pretty commonly used. But what this tends to be is just the dollar value that we expect to receive, right? What is the realizable value? After all costs are considered, what do we think we're going to get back? And so for receivables, part of that, what are some of the costs? It is the fact that, yeah, we have a list of customers at 220,000, but some of them won't be able to pay. So $11,000 is the cost of opening ourselves to credit sales that result in this amount of customer receivable accounts. So we evaluate the NRV as 220,000 less the balance here. And so remember, it's the adjusted balance of each account. The adjusted balance of accounts receivable and the adjusted balance of my allowance for credit losses. And so after I subtract those two, $209,000 is the net realizable value of my company's receivables. This is also what we would see on the balance sheet for the receivables disclosure. It would look something like this: accounts receivable net, of course, not shorthanded, net of allowance, $11,000. And then the column under which we'd find the dollar value would list it at 209. So receivables are listed on the balance sheet at their NRV. We're going to take one more look at that adjustment, but instead of just using that flat percent, we're going to apply an aging schedule to determine the desired balance, but all the other facts remain the same. I have an accounts receivable balance after adjustments, after all the entries for the period have been recorded of 220,000, and then my my ACL, the contra asset, had a $5,000 debit unadjusted balance. And now we're going to use the aging schedule to figure out what I want my adjusted balance to be. All right, so again, same idea. The big difference here is that now the receivables are broken out into those buckets, but this should still total up to my total balance in the receivables account, 220,000. So 40, 100, 140 plus 80, yes, is 220,000. We're just applying different percents to different pieces, to different dollar values of accounts here, based on how long it's been since we made the sale and haven't been paid. So 1.5 of 40,000 is going to be not $600. This is 4,000. And 10% of that is 5,000. And 40% of that is 12,000. So remember, we basically just said, of these 40,000, we think $600 are going to be bad. Of this 100, 4,000 all the way down. So if these sum up to my AR, then these should sum up to the ones that I think are going to be bad that are in this 220, which is my desired ending balance for ACL. So we got 921, 21,600, $21,600. After I add those up, that becomes my desired ending balance. And we just need the adjusting entry here that will credit my ACL to the appropriate desired adjusted trial balance. So the entry I'd make would be a credit of 26,600 to ACL, allowance for credit losses. That reduces assets because I'm increasing a contra asset. And the debit will be to credit loss expense. And that would be the adjusted entry to bring us up to the right balance.